Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So today it seems it's all about stamps at the moment. Obviously kind of made those faux postage stamps, and then I did the speckled seahorse inspired kind of fabric postage stamps. So today I'm just here to do a quick little video tutorial for some other things to do with your vintage postage stamps. So I've just selected a just random handful of postage stamps there, and then what I've done, I've just got, you know, those kind of like baby puzzle pieces. They're on that thick kind of chipboard, so I've just got some of those, and when I alter these, what I like to do is peel the top layer off, mainly because obviously this is very glossy, and so things don't necessarily always want to stick to them. So by just peeling it off and just bin obviously that top kind of glossy layer, you're left with you know, a kind of more porous surface for things to glue onto, and obviously you've got your smooth kind of back really. So I'm just going to kind of take a few postage stamps and I'm just going to glue them onto my chipboard. Now, what I probably should do is actually kind of trim this down to make it slightly easier for trimming at the end. So I'm just going to kind of cut that. Oops. Just so it's a little bit easier to handle, because obviously when it's that really ginormous piece, it's, you know, a little bit tough to kind of cut around and make a sort of neat job of it. So I like to use Mod Podge for things like this. Obviously, you know, different people kind of get on best with different things. Personally, I mean, I just think Mod Podge is like this brilliant magical stuff. So, you know, it's really fast drying. It really kind of does the job well. So I kind of, you know, I like to use that. So I'm just going to stick them down very randomly. I'm not kind of, oops, not worrying too much kind of whether they're straight or anything else, because obviously, you know, we're going to cut these out, so they don't have to be kind of perfect on here. We're just kind of lining them up so as we've got a few kind of stuck down basically. So actually I'm going to kind of do that blue one, I think. So I'll just kind of stick him over there. Actually, I'm going to stick him right at the edge so as I have less cutting to do. And I should have really done that with the others, but it didn't really occur to me until just now. So, because obviously cutting this chipboard is not the easiest, because it is still very, very, very thick. Obviously, if you were struggling to cut it, you could peel off more layers, and then it's obviously thinner to cut. So, you know, if you wanted to kind of make it a bit easier on yourself, then you could do that. So now I'm just going to cut around roughly my stamps. So I'm very glad that I did at least think of cutting it down to a smaller piece, even if I didn't then think of sticking them close to the edge so as I had less bits to cut. But it is at least kind of easier to cut now with it being a smaller piece. It's just easier to handle that way. So okay, and I'll obviously clear up in a moment, so but at the moment, just for speed, I'm just going to kind of let the pieces just flick around so as I'm not kind of dilly-dallying all day. Okay. Okay, and then this one, just trim that down. Now, depending on how you've kind of cut yours, you may have kind of jaggedy edges, you may have kind of bits and pieces that you want to kind of get rid of. I mean, actually, surprisingly, you know, shockingly, I don't seem to have made too bad a job of it, which I am quite surprised about. But if you had, then you can always use, you know, just a small piece of sandpaper. I do always like to kind of keep some in my drawer. And the other thing that I like to keep normally, but now I'm not going to be able to actually find it. I'm just rummaging through my drawer and I can't now see it anywhere. But I do generally keep an emery board, you know, just a nail file, just those cheap and cheerful ones, kind of on the side of my desk, or not on the side of my desk, sorry, in my drawer as well, because, you know, they're just quite similar to sandpaper, so they do the same job effectively. You know, so if you've kind of made a, you know, not great job, you can just obviously, you know, sand the edges down just slightly. And it's up to you, you know, if you wanted to have them quite distressed looking, you could obviously sand them, you know, quite a lot. If you obviously kind of haven't made too bad a job, then, you know, they might not need sanding at all. So, there we go. Oops. I'll just do that last one. Okay. Oh, come on. Actually making that worse, I think. Right, okay. So that's kind of my 4 little chipboard postage stamps. And then it's up to you if you want to kind of distress ink them at all. You know, I mean, obviously these are vintage. So, you know, they're kind of got a slight colour to them anyway. But if you wanted to, you know, vintage them up kind of even further, you may want to kind of just distress ink around them. So I'll just kind of do that here. Like that. And then obviously you could embellish them further. You could kind of go around them with some gold, for instance. You could go around them with, you know, glitter or the liquid pearls or something like that if you wanted. You could kind of highlight them with, you know, a pen or something like that if you wanted. I'm just going to try. I've got some of this Inca Gold, which unfortunately, absolutely loved this. And you can probably see it's rock hard and dry. You may well have some tips and know of how to kind of use it. I mean, I bought this years ago in just a clearance section and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I've never seen it anywhere since then, but it's just the most gorgeous stuff. But it does kind of have this hard kind of, you know, but I mean, it's fine. It kind of works a bit like a waxy candle. So I'm sure that loads of you have got this and will say, oh my gosh, you're not using that right. All you have to do is, you know, melt it, or I don't know, add water to it or something, and then it will come back to life. You know, I'm sure that probably there are ways of doing it, and you guys are just so clever that I'm sure you've got a whole mountain of kind of suggestions of how to use it. But, you know, for me, this kind of works fine. So, you know, it's good enough. So I've just kind of gone around that with the gold. I might just go around, let's go around the orange one with some gold as well. Now, just kind of pressing quite hard because it's not showing up greatly. Obviously that's not probably helped by the lamp, but there we go. I can see the sun trying to come out now. It's very muggy, very humid. So even though the sun has not really been out of late, it has been very humid. Which, to be fair, I guess is better than the sun not being out and it being freezing. You know, nobody wants that. So this is kind of preferable, I think. Right, so that's my little stamps. And they feel really lovely. I love the kind of feel of these. So then I'm just going to glossy accent them. So let me just get my glossy accents going. I really kind of could do with a new bottle of this. It's on its last legs, but I have got enough hopefully to kind of just continue. So there we go. And then, I mean, I'm just going to kind of use my finger to spread this out because, well, because that's just the kind of person I am. Okay. I mean, glossy accents, it's not great when it dries on your hands actually, you know, so I don't love the feeling of that on my hands when it's dried, but you know, it's not like it's permanent or anything, so well, not on your hands anyway, so I'm not going to kind of get too hung up on that. It's, you know, just what it is. And I just find this easier to do with my finger, to be honest, than with a brush. I know that, you know, some people do use brushes and, you know, they get on fine. It's just for me personally, I just find my finger kind of better. I can kind of see better and, you know, work around it better. There we go. And then just do these ones. Like that. Okay, and then finally the last one. So I try and be quite generous with the glossy accents because you want it to be kind of, you know, quite glossy and thick looking. So I mean, you could use that ultra thick embossing powder. I do love that as well, but obviously sometimes I find that does cause it to lift, you know, from underneath, from whatever it's stuck on. So, you know, that's why I just think the glossy accents is kind of preferable in some of these situations. Now, I have got these tiny little gems, which I did wonder about using, but I think they're still a little bit too big to kind of pop on there. What do you guys think? Perhaps we'll try just one because, you know, it doesn't hurt to kind of try one, does it? So, now I haven't ever really stuck anything with glossy accents before, but I know that lots of people do, and they swear that, you know, it's fantastic. So we'll see how it is. Now, do I want it on that one or the blue one? I have it on the blue one, I think. Now, do we want it at the top or the bottom? I think the top. So, oh gosh, this is super fiddly for me. Super fiddly for me. So, excuse my head. Gosh, I feel like I'm either one of those kind of jewellery makers, you know, who's kind of super fiddly or, you know, super careful with their, oh gosh, that's now not got its sticky back on, so I'm struggling even more. Right. Okay. Oh gosh, they're not straight, are they? Right, okay, I'm going to leave it like that because I'm not still 100% convinced that they're not a little bit on the big side. So I don't want to kind of do that to all of them. But, you know, they look pretty cute, don't they? So I'm going to leave those to dry, and then obviously we'll come back and kind of see, you know, what we're going to do with them. Right, I'm back now because hopefully my bits have dried here. So if I just kind of show you how they look. So you can kind of see they're nicely glossy accented, and you know, they look really, really cute. So that's those. I did an extra one, by the way, and I also prepared these ready. And when I looked at them, I noticed that they actually didn't have kind of postage marks. Actually, this one did, but I obviously kind of didn't notice that, if you see what I mean. So far, all I've done is you know, pop them onto the chipboard and cut them out and sort of distress them. So I'm just going to now do a little postmark over them. I'll just check that's kind of coming out okay. Oh, I'm not sure that's the one I want actually, so let me just clean that off a little bit. Hold on. Oh no! Now I can't find the one that I wanted. Oh well, we'll just go for this. The only thing is, this is not really a kind of, sorry, that's some other stuff from some other videos that I've been kind of uploading ready for this the summer. Right, well I will just go for this anyway. So, it, you know, it's fine. I'm sure no one's really going to be saying, oh, that's not a postmark, you know. It looks just as good, doesn't it? So, there we go. And I will do that one even though that's got a kind of, you know, mark there. So, that's those. Obviously, those ones now need glossy accenting around them. So, I'll do them kind of, you know, in slow time. So, I'll just kind of pop them out of the way to one side. So, the ones that we have done, what I've got here are some of those things. Now, I don't know what these are actually called, but they're the things that kind of hold on, like if you've got a necklace with a pendant or something. Now, I bought these from eBay, kind of like maybe a pack of 20 or something. It wasn't like a vast amount, but it might have been about 20 or something. I bought them a long time ago. They were easy to find. I don't know what they were called. I don't know, you know, what I searched for, but when I was looking for them, I know that I came across them quite easily. So they're probably in the jewellery making section. These are kind of antique bronzy kind of colour. So I just thought could pop them onto the back of your little postage stamp. So just going to pop some hot glue on like that, and then just pop that on there like that, and just press that down. Oh gosh, I've got hot glue everywhere again. Oh well, never mind. So obviously I've made a bit of a mess of the back of that with the hot glue, but that's your little kind of piece then. And then what I thought was, obviously I get a bulb pin. Oops, hold on. So you could get your bulb pin or a you know, safety pin, you know, proper kind of safety pin, and just pin them onto your journals. So again, I kind of thought that they would be like a bit of a charm, you know, possibly kind of on the outside of your journal if you kind of didn't do danglies, a bit like the fabric pillows that we kind of made. You could have those kind of attached on there. So they look really cute, don't they? And if I just bring in, I've got here some fabric pillows which I have made previously. I haven't obviously trimmed them down. I've got kind of multiple things on the go, and yeah, kind of got as far as making several of these, and then I still haven't obviously trimmed them down, so I'll just trim that down now. So you could, sorry, right, you could obviously have kind of a couple of things pinned on together. So if I just grab another bulb pin, unfortunately I don't really have a journal that I can kind of demonstrate this on, but for instance you could have your, you know, fabric pillow kind of pinned on, and then you could also have your little postage stamp piece. Or, I mean, you could probably put them on the same bulb pin, to be honest, and then, you know, you wouldn't even need the two pins, you'd just have them on one. So really, really cute. Now, if you didn't want to go to the expense of buying these things, just move that kind of out of the way, then what you could do Right, I'm going to have to stop the video and go and run and get my other crocodile. Hold on. Right, I'm back. So I have two because one of mine broke and it's only now got the big hole. So if you didn't want to buy these little Ujimi flip things, then obviously what you could do is just kind of punch a hole. Oops, let me just find. I probably am better off marking this. I'm very slapdash with things like this, and you know, sometimes I do kind of regret things, so I'll just kind of mark a little dot there. So I'm just kind of punch a little hole in the corner, and then obviously you could then just, oh, let me find a bowl pin again, hold on. You could then just pin that on like that without obviously needing one of those little things. I mean, I just thought those things are kind of cute. To be honest, you know, I think either are perfectly fine. You know, so either way would work absolutely fine. Obviously these little things, there's kind of a little bonus that if you wanted to kind of thread ribbon through or something like that, I don't think I've got any really thin ribbon sat here on my desk, which is a miracle because I've got everything else sat here on my desk. I probably have got some, but it's just obviously buried and I can't actually see it. But if you had kind of some thin ribbon and you wanted to kind of have this hanging off of, say, a pocket or a tag, you could put your ribbon through there and have that hanging. Let me try and find some ribbon because I would kind of like to see how that looked. So bear with me, folks. I must have some somewhere. Pretty sure that I have got some somewhere. I have literally just got, you know, you name it, it's here on my desk. So hold on. Right, so I've grabbed some ribbon. This actually wasn't as thin as the ribbon that I was, you know, had in mind, but it's fine, it will do. So what I was thinking is you could kind of thread this through here, like that. And for instance, this, if this were, you know, a kind of tuck spot or a pocket on a page, you could just kind of attach that around the back and have it kind of tied around your piece. Or, and this has only just kind of occurred to me during this video actually, obviously this is a tag. You could just kind of pop it, oops. Why can't I get hold of that? Come through, come through. Right, so you could have it kind of on your tag like so. So just kind of attach that like that. So I'll just trim that ribbon off. Okay, and then hopefully, so I'll just trim that ribbon down a little bit, it's quite long. So there you've got your little charm on your tag. So actually, you know, this was not the purpose that I had in mind for this. It really was kind of intended as, you know, a kind of charm on the outside of a journal, but actually I think maybe this is my favourite way to kind of use them. They look really cute on those tags. Really, really gorgeous. So yeah, I really like that. And actually in hindsight, I don't think you would actually need that little gizmo, you know, one of these metal things. You could obviously just, you know, thread that with the ribbon through the hole, or just on a bolt pin and then attach it to the ribbon. So, you know, kind of scrap that. You probably don't really need those unless you kind of particularly wanted them. You know, they're probably not necessary really. So yeah, I hope that you like them, and hope you give some a go. I'd really love to see your kind of finished results and how you use them. I'm sure that you guys will come up with far more imaginative ways of using them than I have. But yeah, I hope that you like them. They're super quick and easy to make, and I think kind of lots of different possibilities and uses for them. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you all again soon. Thanks then, bye.